The Coorong is a unique wetland system located at the end of Australia's largest river system, the Murray-Darling. It's here where fresh water from the River Murray meets the Great Southern Ocean at the Murray mouth and also flows down into the Coorong lagoons. The Coorong's unique salinity gradient varies from estuarine near the Murray mouth to hypersaline, 2 to 3 times saltier than seawater at the southern end near Salt Creek. This provides a range of wetland habitats which supports diverse and often abundant populations of plants, fish and water birds. The Coorong is one of the most significant waterbird habitats in the entire Murray-Darling system, where it becomes a critical refuge for water birds, especially during drought or very dry conditions. The Coorong can support hundreds and thousands of water birds at a time, including migratory shorebirds that feed here each summer, and significant colonies of pelicans and terns that nest on protected islands. It's because of these birds that the Coorong and Lakes Alexandrina and Albert Wetland Site was formally listed as a Ramsar wetland of international importance in 1985. Its natural beauty, diverse wildlife and unspoilt coastline also makes it one of the most loved and most visited tourist destinations in South Australia. The Coorong is of enormous cultural significance to its traditional owners, the Ngarrindjeri and the First Nations of the Southeast. Coorong is a name given to the area in Ngarrindjeri language, meaning long, narrow neck. Such a special wetland and beautiful tourist destination needs to be looked after for future generations to enjoy.
The health of the Coorong is linked with the overall health of the Murray-Darling Basin system, which is under pressure from over-allocation, droughts and climate change. The southern Coorong in particular has suffered long-term decline as a result of reduced inflows from the River Murray and to a lesser extent the southeast. These impacts were exacerbated during the millennium drought during the 2000s, when prolonged periods of no barrage flows and extreme hypersaline conditions in the southern Coorong led to significant declines in the abundance and distribution of many native plants, fish and water birds. Since the millennium drought, initiatives including the Coorong, Lower Lakes and Murray Mouth Recovery Project and the Environmental Water Recovery and Delivery under the Murray-Darling Basin Plan have increased environmental flows to the Coorong and addressed some of the critical knowledge gaps for the region. The ecology of the southern Coorong did begin to improve following the return of the water flows to the system in late 2010. However, accumulation of salt and nutrients from the millennium drought and ongoing effects of reduced barrage flows has limited recovery of the system. The current state of the Coorong is predominantly hypereutrophic, meaning it is extremely rich in nutrients. Nutrient cycling has been disrupted to the point where nutrients are now repeatedly exchanged between nutrient-enriched sediments, algae and phytoplankton and continue to remain trapped within the Coorong. This internal nutrient cycling leads to poor water quality, promotes algal blooms and leads to the formation of sulfidic black oozes in the sediments. The system is now in a vulnerable state, with little capacity to absorb continued and cumulative environmental stress. If we do nothing, the Coorong will continue to deteriorate and its food web is at a risk of collapse.
We need to work together to restore the Coorong to a resilient and naturally variable system that can provide habitat for a diversity of life under a changing climate. To reach this desired state, we need short and long-term management strategies to manage excess salt and nutrients and improve ecological function in the Coorong. As a first step, it will be important to develop solutions that regularly export salt and nutrients from the system. Restoration of native aquatic plants and invertebrates can assist in promoting such a healthy ecosystem through the oxygenation of sediments and the incorporation of nutrients into native seagrass meadows that are eaten by birds instead of being locked up in algae and sediments.
One of the key objectives of the Murray-Darling Basin Plan is to ensure that Ramsar wetlands, such as the Coorong and Lakes Alexandrina and Albert wetland, are maintained. When river systems are very stressed, they die from the mouth up, which is why the Coorong's health is important to the entire Murray-Darling Basin system, which supports Australia's food bowl and is home to more than 2 million people. It is the canary in the coal mine. Restoring the Coorong to a healthy and resilient condition will be an important component of the success of the Basin Plan. Only with a healthy Coorong can we have a healthy basin. Project Coorong is a South Australian Government initiative taking action to restore the health, viability and visitor experience of this place through environmental projects to get the Coorong back on track and initiatives to boost ecotourism focusing on the Coorong National Park. As a cornerstone of Project Coorong, the Healthy Coorong Healthy Basin initiative will support the long-term health of the Coorong with a focus on the South Lagoon. The Healthy Coorong Healthy Basin Plan presents a working vision to help restore the Coorong's health, characterised by healthy vegetation which supports abundant and diverse populations of water birds and fish and other species. The action plan outlines the short, medium and long-term on-ground works, scientific trials and investigations, management tools and possible infrastructure activities required to get the Coorong back on track for a healthy future. Restoring a healthy Coorong is critical for the environment, First Nations, local communities, tourism operators and the overall health of the Murray-Darling Basin. That's why action is underway to restore the Coorong's health, bringing new life to the region.